Have you been paying attention to Nagaland and the larger Naga population across the northeast? If not, then this episode of Decoded is for you. You see, over the past few weeks, several important and interesting things have happened across Nagaland and of course Manipur too. Whether it is the merger of two major Naga parties, the NPF and the NDPP, or the visit of Thuingaleng Muivah to his village after 5 decades, there have been some major developments in the region that hold significance both in the short term and the long term. But before we move forward, I have a request to make. If you like what we do at EastMojo, please do like this video and share it with your friends and family members, and do subscribe to our channel. For months.
Village of Assam in the 75th Independence Day.
It is not often that someone visiting their ancestral village makes headlines, but Muivah is no ordinary person. Like him or dislike him, there is no doubt that the modern history of Nagaland and the Naga people is incomplete without the mention of Muivah. So when it became clear that Muivah was visiting Somdal, it would be one of the biggest moments in recent history of the locals. For the people of Somdal in Ukhrul district of Manipur, the return of Thuingaleng Muivah after more than 50 years was not just an event, it was an emotion that had lived quietly in the hearts of generations. In the weeks leading up to his homecoming, the village came alive with an energy it had not felt in decades. Men, women and children took part in preparing the village, each task carried out with reverence and pride. Decorative arches were built at the village gate, pathways were cleaned and lined with fresh paint, and posters bearing his image were carefully put up. For the elders, it was the realization of a prayer long held. For the youth, it was a chance to witness the living history they had only heard about. Every corner of Somdal seemed to anticipate the moment when Muivah would set foot on its soil again. And as the day approached, Somdal was not merely preparing for a visit, it was preparing for closure, for history to come home. And when the day came, it was nothing less than a festival. You can watch this video that captured every aspect of his return and how it was celebrated. Now, with all things political, of course, there were disagreements and debates. A Manipur-based Naga organization, the Ziliangrong United Front or ZUF, had urged the General Secretary of NACN-IM to apologize to the Naga people for its past mistakes during his homecoming. The ZUF said Muivah returns empty-handed 50 years after leaving to seek freedom for the Nagas, arguing there is no reason to glorify someone who failed the Nagas on all fronts. The group also accused him of ordering the merciless killings of prominent Naga leaders and arson in villages under the pretext of fighting the Indian army or collecting taxes, saying it was ordinary Nagas who bore the suffering. It also accused the NACN-IM of systematically persecuting the Ziliangrong people, that include people from the Zeme, Liangmai and Rongmei Naga tribes, and warned that continued confrontations could lead to further clashes with Naga society. We will come back to this later in the video, but for now, the other homecoming. Muivah was not the only one returning home, so to speak. The return of Neiphiu Rio to the Naga People's Front or NPF marks a historic consolidation in Nagaland's political landscape, merging the state's oldest regional party with his current party, the Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party or NDPP. The merger, formally endorsed during the NDPP's General Convention on October 18, 2025, comes after decades of shifting political alliance and is seen as a strategic move to strengthen regional unity while providing a consolidated platform to address Nagaland's enduring political challenges, including the Indo-Naga issue. Following the convention, Rio was elected leader of the NPF Legislature Party, symbolizing both his personal political homecoming and a revival of the party's historic legacy. Rio's political journey highlights the significance of this merger. He began his career in 1974 as president of the Kohima district UDF youth wing and rose through the ranks to become an influential state leader. After serving in Congress and co-founding the NPF in 2002, he represented Nagaland in the 16th Lok Sabha before returning to state politics to lead the NDPP to power in 2018 and 2023. The NDPP itself emerged in 2017 amid political unrest over urban local bodies elections, establishing itself as a regional alternative and consolidating power through a coalition with the BJP. The 2022 defection of 21 NPF legislators to the NDPP further weakened the NPF, making the merger both strategic and timely. The NPF, founded in 1963 and having undergone multiple name changes over 6 decades, has long shaped Nagaland's political, social and cultural narrative. Despite its reduced legislative presence in recent days, it maintained deep grassroots networks across Nagaland and neighboring states, which now strengthen the United Party. Rio's leadership reinforces the merger's vision, promoting regional governance while remaining pragmatic through alliances like the ongoing partnership with the BJP to ensure stability and development. At least on paper, the merger promises a more cohesive regional force capable of addressing long-standing political, social and economic challenges. Rio emphasized unity above individual or tribal differences, highlighting goals such as inclusive development, youth empowerment, employment generation, and the pursuit of a lasting Naga political solution. By combining the NDPP's recent electoral success with the NPP's historical roots, the unified party aims to revive the spirit of regionalism with inclusivity, compassion and purpose, positioning itself as a central player in Nagaland's future governance and development. For democracy, however, this is hardly good news. Nagaland barely has an opposition, so to speak, and while some might say that it is good, the truth is no one benefits if there is no dissenting voice in a democracy. Imagine someone is angry at the NDPP or the NPF for the lack of, say, jobs or health facilities. Who will speak against the government if everyone is a part of the government? Now, both Muivah and Rio, at least politically, might seem on two separate ends of the spectrum. Rio's success lies in accepting India, Indian democracy and the government and its structure. Muivah's success lies in, at least on paper, keeping the Naga freedom hopes alive. And sure, the militancy and insurgency may have fallen in recent times, but do not for once think that the NSCN movement has died down. The movement, however fragmented it may be, it's still active. Nagas continue to join in whatever capacity they may. This also does not mean that everyone accepts Muivah as their leader, as mentioned earlier. In fact, when we released our latest video on Muivah's visit to Somdal, the comments were mostly negative. Some called for him to stay in Manipur, others called him a tax collector as their way of calling out extortion often carried out by these insurgent groups. The NSCN, of course, denies it. Rio has been an astute leader, ensuring his and his party's safety and security for years now. Unlike, say, Biren Singh, he is not known to be extremely tough against anyone who dares disagree with him, and more often than not, he tends to stay away rather than grab headlines. The merger of NDPP and NPF presents to Nagas a unified political force across Manipur and Nagaland for the first time in years, and given the conflict in Manipur, this assumes extreme significance. You see, while Nagas have not remained insulated from the violence in Manipur, it would also be safe to say that thanks to smart politics, they have emerged relatively unscathed politically. While Kuki MLAs continue to exist in some parallel world, Naga MLAs have routinely featured in meetings with the central and the state governments. This is extremely important given that Nagas in Manipur and Nagaland stand to lose the most following the end of FMR. I would not be lying if I said that almost all pressure groups from student unions to civil society organizations have condemned the end of FMR and refused to acknowledge the same. This, combined with a decade of absolutely zero movement on the framework agreement, means that while it may not seem so, Naga leadership is on the edge. Muivah has no plans of accepting the status quo, and Rio will do everything in his power to keep the status quo. The framework agreement is dead for all intents and purposes. This, combined with how the centre has mostly ignored Naga protests against FMR, means that there are two ways things can go now. The combined political and democratic leadership of the Nagas can raise their voice more strongly and more often, or they can remain mute and continue gaining political favors since there is no opposition. And that, once again, will only help Muivah and his movement.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.